She was in my kitchen, moving things around on the shelves like she owned the place. She acted like it wasn't just the dishes she was rearranging, but me too. And the worst part? She was wearing my clothes, a silk blouse I'd bought with my very first paycheck. My perfume lingered on her like it had been stolen. "We're staying indefinitely," she said, not even bothering to look at me. I glanced at my husband, hoping for something, anything, but he stayed silent. Silence, his favorite form of betrayal. Right then, I realized I wasn't going to argue with her. I wasn't going to fight. I was going to bury them both. I married him when I was young, too young. I mistook his quiet nature for kindness, his patience for loyalty. But silence cuts deeper than cruelty. The first warning sign was how often his mother called. Every decision we made, our apartment, our furniture, even our wedding, went through her. And when I resisted, he always gave in. "It's easier this way," he'd whisper. I thought marriage was about building a life together. He thought marriage meant handing me over. 5 days, that's all it took for me to break. 5 days of her strutting around my house like she was queen. 5 days of her rifling through my closets, sliding into my bed whenever she felt like it, and criticizing the meals I cooked in the kitchen I had designed down to the tiles. 5 days of his silence, his refusal to stand up for me. I didn't scream, I didn't argue, I smiled, I nodded. I played the perfect hostess, but inside I was taking notes. Every insult, every trespass, every weakness. On the third night, while she soaked in my tub with champagne in hand, I went to the garage. His car? Paid off with my money. The deed to the house? In my name alone, bought before I ever married him. Every bill, every payment, mine. He had given nothing. They thought they were suffocating me in my own. Went home, but they forgot one thing. The deed was mine. On the 5th morning, I woke up before sunrise. I stood in the kitchen she had rearranged, plates where glasses belonged, spices shoved behind cans, her chaos stamped over my order, and I laughed. That laugh was the sound of my freedom. In that moment, I stopped being their victim. I became their executioner. The plan was simple. First, I packed one bag, only the essentials, my passport, important documents, and the cash I'd saved over years of being underestimated. Second, I called my lawyer, calm, quiet, efficient. I wanted separation papers filed before the week was out. No warning, no conversation. Next, I called the bank. Every joint account frozen. My private funds moved into a trust they couldn't touch. By noon, I was gone. No note, no goodbye. Instead, I set up something far better. That evening, a courier knocked at the door with a large envelope. Inside, eviction papers, legal notice, proof of ownership. My husband and his mother stood there stunned while the courier explained they had 72 hours to leave. And the neighbors? They saw it all. They always do. Gossip spreads faster than any official notice, and by midnight, half the street already knew the king and queen of my household had been dethroned. Of course, he called me. First with the voice of a scolded child. "Why didn't you tell me? We could have worked this out." Then with the rage of a man stripped bare. "You can't do this to me. This is my home." I let him yell, let him spit out words he could never take back. And when he finally stopped to breathe, I said the only truth that mattered. It was never your home, not once. Then I hung up. They scrambled. His mother went online crying about being betrayed by a selfish daughter-in-law. But photos of her wearing my clothes, lounging around my house, spread just as quickly. He tried convincing the neighbors it was all a misunderstanding, but who was going to believe a man who lived off his wife and let his mother rule in her place? 3 days later, they were gone. The house was mine again, quiet, empty, but not lonely. Sometimes I sit in that same kitchen, the one she tried to remake, and I run my fingers along the shelves, each item back exactly where I place. Edit. My order restored. The neighbors still whisper about the day the courier came, how the so-called queen and her silent prince were toppled in front of everyone. But I don't care about their whispers. What matters is what I reclaimed. My house, my life, my name. Revenge served cold and served perfectly.